morning, children. For 15 minutes, today I am taking new lesson with this living world. First lesson, living world. And already yesterday we discussed about these 8 characters from this lesson. First 8 characters are finished, and today I am taking the last one, that is 9th character. And I think again from last yesterday you might be watching the videos and all. So at least now till school starts, keep watching the videos and all. And today let me finish the lesson and I will be giving questions for you. So you can take down questions also, and little part is left. Let me complete the lesson and give questions also. So you can write down in your classwork, and already one answer I given you first one when you all are present. So today you can see page number 14. It is last character. Living beings have lifespan. 9th character. That is living beings. Living beings have lifespan. Have lifespan. So this is a 9th character. Living beings also have lifespan. As we human beings have lifespan. In the same way, animals too they have got all the animals and plants, they have got a lifespan. So we are going to study about this now here from page number 14. Living beings have lifespan. It is the 9th character. So look page number 14, last paragraph. So organisms take birth, become adults, reproduce, become old and die at last. So all the organisms on this earth, including human beings, animals, plants and human beings, all are living only. And first take birth, all the organisms they take birth and they grow up and become adults, and also they reproduce and become old, and lastly they die. So this is the lifespan, means this is what they all the living beings they do, and the period between birth and the death of an organism is called lifespan. So what is the meaning of lifespan? It's the period between birth and death. The period between birth and the death of an organism is called lifespan. Very simple, understood? The period between birth and the death of an organism is called lifespan. Now here, so the average lifespan of some animals are given below. Observe here. So some animals lifespan is given here. So we can let us observe them which are given below here. Now you can see here the last page, page number 14. So last page, animals, one side animals are given, and next side average lifespan is given in the years. Now turtle means first one. First turtle means tortoise. It lives for nearly 150 years. It lives 150 years, double than human beings. Elephant for 70 years, means just like a human beings. Elephant also lives for 70 years. Cow 20 years. Eagle 20 years. Man 70 to 80 years. So these are the few lifespan of the animals and man. So these are the really some few of the animals are given. Lifespan of the animals are given here. Now next page number 15. Again how the, let us see how the plants are classified on the basis of lifespan. On the basis of lifespan, plants are again classified. Say on the basis of plants are classified into four types. They are classified. That is first this on the basis of this height and hardness of the stem. First classification is very basic, is because of this on the basis of height and hardness of the stem, plants are classified into herbs, shrubs and trees. Already you learned in the previous classes. Understood? Herbs, shrubs and trees. Understood? Herbs are small plants, shrubs are medium-sized plants, and trees are tall plants. So in this way, the plants are classified on the basis of height and hardness of the stem. And once again, they are classified. All animals are also classified. This is about the plants. And now animals are also classified into on the food habits. It is plants on the basis of height and hardness, and how the animals are classified. It is on the basis of food habits. It is herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Understood? So, and also this again this on this again plants are classified. Second way, that is on the basis of lifespan. Again, plants are classified on the basis of the lifespan. They are classified into three groups. That is, first one is annual plants, second one biennial plants, and perennial plants. See, on the basis of lifespan, plants are classified into three groups. That is, first one is annuals, second one biennials, and the third one is perennials. Understood? Let us see what is the meaning of annuals, biennials, and perennials. Understood? And also you can see here in the diagram, page number 15, you can see how nice they are classified here with the help of diagram. You can see the diagram, page number 15. These are the annuals, and the definition with examples are given. Well, in the biennials also with the definition and the examples are given. Very interesting and easy method they are given. Let us see them. So let us see first what are annual plants. So annuals means plants which bear flower, produce fruits, and die in a year or a season are called annual plants. So plants which bear flowers, which are having flowers, and they produce fruits and die in a year or a season are called as annual plants. Which plants which give for nearly for 1 year are called as annual plants. Example, for example, jawar, wheat, paddy means bhatta, what we call pumpkin, kumbrakai, vegetables, and cotton. So these are examples for annual plants. Understood? So jawar, wheat, paddy, this pumpkin, vegetables, and cotton are examples for annual plants. Understood? They live only for 1 year. Now second group is biennials. Biennials, the plants which live up to 2 years or 2 seasons and produce flowers, fruits, and seeds and die. So these are biennials which live for up to 2 years. That is for 2 seasons, and they produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, and then they die. So they live for 2 years. Biennials live for 2 years or 2 seasons, and they produce flowers, fruits, seeds, and then they die. So examples are carrot, ginger, cabbage, sugarcane, and beetroot. Understood? So these examples are once again carrot, ginger, cabbage, sugarcane, and beetroot are the examples for biennial plants. These live for 2 years or 2 seasons and produce flowers, fruits, seeds, and then they die. So these are called biennial plants. Now coming to third group, that is perennials, page number 16. Perennials. Perennials means, let us see what is the meaning. Perennials means which live for many years and keep producing flowers, fruits, and seeds every year. Understood? They live which live for many years. Understood? They live for many years, and every year they keep producing flowers, fruits, and seeds. So these are called as perennial plants. Examples are very common examples: mango, lemon, coconut, neem, jackfruit, and areca nut. So once they grow, they produce flowers, fruits, and seeds every year. Understood? Once they grow up, every year they produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, and means in this way they are growing. Understood? They every year they grow, and every year means throughout life they will be growing, and they live for many years, and they produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, and So examples once again: mango, lemon, coconut, neem, jackfruit, and arecanut. That is areca, what we call. So these are examples for perennial plants. So in this way, annuals, biennials, and perennials are classified. Understood? So plants are classified. Plants are classified on the basis of lifespan. On the basis of lifespan. Understood? It is first group is annuals. Annuals, ANNUALS, annuals or annual plants. It's used for annuals. Then second one, biennials, BRENNIALS, biennials. And third one is perennials, PERENNIALS, perennials. So this way, three groups plants are classified on the basis of lifespan. That is annual plants, biennial plants, and perennial plants. Means annuals, they live for 1 year or 1 season. So these are called as annuals. Biennials live for 2 seasons or 2 years. They are called perennials or biennials. Third group is perennials, which live for many years, and they all the three they produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, and they die. This way, plants are classified on the basis of lifespan. So this is about the plants here. Now next, apart from the lifespan, plants are also classified on the basis of nature of the seed leaf as monocotyledons and dicotyledons plants. So again, apart from lifespan, again plants are classified on the basis of nature of the seed leaf as monocotyledon plants and dicotyledons plants. So this is the second classification. Again, third one is the plants are classified on the basis of seed leaf. That is nature of the seed leaf. Based on the nature of the seed leaf, plants are classified. Let us see them. So here, let's see this one. Plants are classified on the basis of nature of the seed leaf. Plants are classified on the basis of nature of seed leaf. Nature of seed leaf. So as first one monocotyledons. First one monocotyledons. Monocotyledons. And another one is dicotyledons. So plants are also classified on the basis of nature of seed leaf as monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Now here, let us see them. If you want to see what are monocotyledons and dicotyledons, let us see them in detail. Page number 17. Do this. Here is small activity for you. Try to understand. Take ragi and coconut seeds. Take ragi seeds and coconut groundnut seeds. Understood? Ragi and groundnut seeds, both are different, and put them into 2 separate water-filled glasses. In the small glasses, put them into the 2 separate separate water-filled glasses. before going to sleep. That means at night time put this ragi seeds in one glass and the groundnut seeds in one glass filled with water, which is having water. Before going to sleep, if you put with next day morning, drain the water. We must separate the water from the glass, both glass. So press tightly the ragi and the groundnut seeds. We press the ragi seeds and groundnut seeds. You seeds with your hands and share your experience. What we observe here? See this in the ragi seeds there are no any parts. It is only one part. So there are no any. We don't see any separate parts in them. But in this groundnut it is having two parts, and by putting in the water it becomes soft, and we can see by pressing the hands with fingers we can see the two parts in it. So monocotyledon seeds has one cotyledon, that is seed leaf. Monocotyledon seeds has only one cotyledon, that is seed leaf. So examples are jowar, ragi, wheat, paddy, millets. These are the examples for monocotyledons, because in jowar, if you put even jowar, only one part is there, that one seed part is there, or one seed leaf is there in a jowar. Even in ragi also, a single mono means one cotyledon, single cotyledon, and even ragi, wheat also only one seed leaf is there, paddy and millets, all the type of millets they have got only one seed leaf. So single seed leaf. So mono means one cotyledon or single cotyledons are called as a monocotyledon plants. Now let us see what are dicotyledons. Di means two cotyledons. Di means two cotyledon plants. Seeds has two cotyledons in them. So that is seed leaf. Cotyledon means seed leaf. Understood? So di means two cotyledons are there. So examples are horse gram. Horse gram means Huruleikalu. Huruleikalu is brown color one. It is having, if you put in the water and if you next day if you squeeze, you can see two parts in the horse gram, groundnut, and red gram, Chennangi, what we call Bengal gram, black gram, green gram. All these grams which you call that all they are having two parts in them. All the is the grains, that is this one. Okay. They have got two parts in them. So do this, collect monocotyledons and dicotyledons plants from your locality, observe the leaf and the roots, know the difference with the help of your teacher. Now here, even if you observe the leaf and the root of the monocotyledons and dicotyledons, you can see that in monocotyledons plants leaves are longer. Single leaf is very longer in size, as you see the jowar, wheat, sugarcane and all. Long leaves are, one single leaf is very long, understood? But in dicotyledons leaves are smaller in size and they are different from the monocotyledons. Understood? Monocotyledons leaves are longer in size, but dicotyledons leaves are different from monocotyledons because they are dicotyledons leaves are smaller in size, and even the roots are also separate from the both plants. So this is how we can separate them, that is monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Examples once again here. This monocotyledons are jowar, wheat, rice, paddy, ragi. These are the examples for all type of millets. These are examples for monocotyledons. Dicotyledons means two cotyledons or seed leaf. Examples are groundnut, horse gram, green gram, Bengal gram, black gram. All are examples for dicotyledons. These two seeded plants. Two seed leaf are there in dicotyledons. Di means two cotyledons. Mono means one or single cotyledons. Now, next look here. We have learned about the characteristics of living. Plants and animals are two important components of the environment. But nowadays, their number is decreasing as a result of man's greediness, and protection of plants and animals is the need of the day. So, because of this greediness of the man. Because all the people, they want to live in separate houses, and they want to build new houses or industries and all. So for that purpose, what they do, they cut the forest area and they start living there. And the result is what happens, by cutting the forest and all, the animals or plants living there, they go in search of new places and all. So in this way, it is because of the man's greediness or selfishness, this animals and these plants are decreasing. Their number is decreasing, or they are becoming less. So protection of plants and animals is the need of the day. Now why we should protect plants means for to get rain, for food purpose, for human beings and animals, and also for future generations. We have to protect the plants and animals. Understood? Now here is last para, page number 17. Read the importance of animal protection. Open page number 17. Importance of animal protection. Animal protection. Read the incident given below. Now keep finger where I am reading now. Once in Borneo, there were too many flies were there. Once in Borneo place, there were too many flies were there, and insecticides were used to control them. What happened when the too much of flies were there, and insecticides were used to control them, and this insecticides, that is chemicals, were used to control them. These insecticides or pesticides were used to control them, and all the flies died. All the flies died, and lizards started eating the dead flies. What happened? The lizards, they started eating the dead flies, and as a result, the insecticides in the body of the flies enter the lizard's body. So as you all can understand that when this lizard started eating the dead flies, and as a result, the insecticides from the body of the flies entered the lizard's body, because lizard started eating the dead flies, and their movement slowed down. Now cats could easily hunt them. So lizards also they started dying, and what happened? The cats could easily hunt them. What happened? Cats started eating the dead lizards. Cats started eating the dead lizards, and the insecticides which entered the body of the cats through lizards turned poisonous for them, and many cats also died. And as a result, by eating these lizards, the cats also they died. As the number of cats decreased or died, the number of rats increased enormously. Means number of the cats when they decreased, the number of the rats increased enormously. So the rats, this means when the cats died, the number of the rats increased. Understood? Because rat is the food of the cat. Because of this, plague disease erupted and caused the death of many people. So how the plague started means this is the very good example for you. Because of this only, plague disease erupted and caused the death of many people, and government has to import cats from the other countries. So what that time what government done is they brought cats from the other countries to hunt this or to kill the rats. Understood? So this incident conveys the importance of the animal protection and balance of the living beings in nature. So means this we have to protect the animals. Understood? Animal protection and balance of living beings is nature. So it is everyone's duty to protect the environment or the animals or the plants. So last page number 18. Many more plants, many more points about the importance of animal protection is given below. Read them. First point, look page number 18 here. Animals play an important role in the maintaining the environmental balance. Animals plays important role in maintaining the environmental balance. As you read in this incident, that is, if any of the one type of this organisms are died, means other type of this organisms they start increasing. Suppose when all the cats were died, the number of rats increased and they started they caused a disease called plague. So animals play important role in maintaining the environmental balance. Second point, if animals are destroyed, it affects other organisms as there will be scarcity of food. Understood? So, if the animals are destroyed, understood? It affects the other organisms as there will be scarcity of food. Understood? So, and in the recent years, the government has taken measures to protect animals through national forest, wildlife sanctuaries, bird sanctuaries, and reserve forest for hunting, and also hunting is banned in stop. Last para. The living world around us is a wonder, and knowing about the plants and animals, we should protect them, and then only the existing environment we see now will be available to the future generations. So remember always that if you protect nature, it will protect us. So this is about the lesson living world. So many things we learned, that is about all the 9 characters of the living beings we have learned, and also about means from this we have learned about life of the plants and animals. So details of the life of animals and plants is given here, and this completes the lesson living world. Thank you. In next period, I'll be giving you questions, so you can copy down. And already one answer is given, that is characters of the living beings. So 9 characters are already given in first answer. So let me continue. The second answer. From second answer, I'll continue. Till then, you can read the lesson. Understood? So it is the moment for you to read the complete lesson. Thank you.